Hello, guys, and welcome. We are so excited to have you join us today with Creative Fabrica and guest Karlie Belle. We are going to be showing you some amazing crafts to kick off the fall crafting season, which is my favorite. I come alive in fall. It is my favorite time to craft. So, as we welcome everybody, thank you for joining us. We would love to know where you are watching from. You are watching me from Alabama, and I am so excited to find out where you guys are coming from. So, where are you from? Oregon, Ohio, Baltimore? Oh my goodness, Texas, St. Louis, Washington. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, if you guys are watching from Facebook, be sure to give StreamYard permission, and that just gives us the opportunity to see your name, because at the end of the live we will be doing a big giveaway for something I'm really excited to offer you guys. Be sure you stay tuned and watch to the end of the video to get to join that giveaway opportunity. Austria, Belgium, Nebraska. I'm so excited, you guys. Hello. So you guys know, if you're here, you love Creative Fabrica, can you go ahead and hit that like button so that we can show them some love? Thank you so much. I'm going to show you guys a little bit and tell you about our Creative Fabrica website. And let me switch to my full screen here and show you. So here we are. This is Creative Fabrica. If you guys drop me a comment below if you are new to Creative Fabrica or if you are already a member. It has 5.5 million graphics, which is amazing. It has over 104,000 fonts. There's always resources to download for free. And look at these fall crafts. They already have started. It's the perfect platform for beginners to pros, and it adds every aspect that you need for those amazing crafts any time of the year. So it is amazing. And not only will you find the digital assets, but you'll also learn more about crafting, such as their video online crafting classes and their craft club. So that is Creative Fabrica's website. Be sure, it is absolutely amazing. And I'm so excited for that. So there, yes, you guys are members. We love fall and Halloween too. So we do have a guest for this live. I'm so excited to introduce to you Miss Karlie Belle. We're gonna bring her on, and she's going to give us a little bit about her story. Karlie, how do you use Creative Fabrica in your crafting?
Hi, I love Creative Fabrica. Mostly my biggest craft obsession right now, and has been for a long time, is machine embroidery, but I also just recently got into sublimation, and I have a silhouette cutting machine, so I love all the craft files. I mean, I use almost every aspect of the website.
Yeah, and that's what's so amazing about Creative Fabrica is they have an array. So you're not limited. They do have the SVG cut files, they do have the sublimation files, and they do have those embroidery files, which are extremely beautiful. I'm just so excited to see what you create. So tell me, what is your favorite embroidery project to make?
I have to say my favorite is applique embroidery, which is where you're using your embroidery thread, you're doing the stitches, but you're filling in an area with fabric. And that makes it so much more fun because you can be so creative in your fabric choices. You can take one design and make it look totally different just by using different fabric and different thread colors. So that one's my favorite.
Right. So, what supplies is needed for the project that you will be using today?
So the supplies for today, we are going to make a kitchen towel. So most important is the towel itself. Then with every embroidery project, you're going to need something called stabilizer. And what stabilizer does is it keeps the threads from sinking into the project that you're stitching on. So with the towel in particular, we have a piece of stabilizer underneath, and I'm using one called Tearaway. And we also have another piece on top that we call Topper, and that's this clear stuff here. Then having a ruler to figure out your placement is great. I'm using a 5x7 hoop. So the hoop, and I like to use the grid that comes with the hoop, is really helpful with placement. A pair of scissors, tweezers, and some sort of marker that you can use on your fabric, whether it be a water-soluble disappearing ink marker, or I have like a white chalk pencil, something that's going to come off at the end so that you can line up where you're going to put your design. And then last but not least, oops, all your pretty embroidery thread.
The best part. So Creative Fabrica has all of the supplies needed for both projects, but Miss Karlie, if you are ready, let's get started and let's craft.
Awesome. All right, well, so thanks so much, guys. I'm really excited to be here today and show you this really fun skeleton Halloween towel. So I'm going to switch cameras now over to my craft table so you can see everything I'm using and what I'm doing. So let's get started here. All right, so I mentioned everything we needed, but just so that you can see some things a little bit better. I am using a embroidery machine that has a 5x7 hoop, and I think a 5x7 size is great for tons of projects, including kitchen towels. So with the project, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out where we want to put the design onto the towel. And typically with my kitchen towels, and I hang them over my oven, I hang it just like this. It's folded in thirds, and then it's folded in half. Okay. So I'm going to unfold this towel and get it to where I can see the bottom half of the towel. Sorry if my lighting's all crazy.
Oh yeah, and so those creases almost act as like a guide too.
Exactly, exactly. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Okay. Nope, it still doesn't like the black. So let me get some white in here so maybe it helps.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Maybe. Okay. Anyway, I'm just using a ruler here and finding my middle point. And like I mentioned with the hoop, all your hoops are going to come with a grid that fits in it. And these are great for helping you to figure out where you want to put your design. So the design I'm doing today is 5 inches wide. So I'm going to put it in this orientation here, and it's not a total of 7 inches tall, but it's a little bit taller. And I am looking from the middle of that towel to the bottom there, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it in the middle. Sorry. Okay. Then my towel is about 16 inches. So I got this lined up right in the middle at 8. So once I figure out where I want to put my design, I take my chalk pencil marker, and they have little holes in this grid. And I just mark the little holes here. That may be hard for you to see, but once you have them, use your ruler and draw some crosshairs.
And the pen that you're using is washable?
Yeah, it's like a sewing chalk pencil, so it comes right off even just by rubbing it. Perfect. It'll come off, but definitely will come off in the wash. Okay, so you can see those little lines there. So we're done figuring out our placement. Now I'm going to go back to my hoop, and one of the hardest things with embroidery is hooping. It's getting everything in between these two pieces of plastic. To make your life so much easier, I do something called floating, where I actually only put the stabilizer, and this is Tearaway stabilizer.
Which is the easiest to use.
Yes. I like projects that involve Tearaway.
Yes.
So we just hoop that, and then I'm going to put my grid right back, and this time I'm going to use my marker so I could see, and I'm going to draw those same spots, those same marks. Perfect. And get my crosshairs.
How many of you guys in the comments do embroidery already? I love that you can see that so well.
Okay, so once you have the same kind of crosshairs now going on your stabilizer, now we're going to lay the towel on here. But before I do that, I'm going to use, and I forgot to mention this for the so the supplies. This is basting spray adhesive. It's a very light adhesive that is safe to use on your sewing and embroidery machines. It won't gunk up your needle. You only need a tiny bit. And you don't have to use this. You can do, you can also use pins to pin your towel in place, or even like paper tape is also a great option. But because the towel is so big, I find the spray adhesive works the best.
Oh, see, I used pins and I always had so many issues with pins because it would fold my material, but the basting paste is genius.
Yeah, I was always nervous about where you place your pins and that your embroidery needle might hit them as well. So I stopped using pins myself and I switched over to this.
Love that.
So we have the crosshairs here on the stabilizer, and I have my crosshair on my towel, and it's really just eyeballing it and putting it right on top of one another. And you have that spray adhesive, which is temporary, so you can lay it down, but then you can lift it up and
so
really
it's
see
movable.
where it goes.
Yeah. So it's not a permanent bond. It just helps.
No.
Perfect.
It's super light, but a strong enough hold that your towel is going to stay in place. So the last step before we're ready to go to the machine is something called water-soluble topper. Now, this is not something I use on every project. This, for me, is special to items that you're stitching that might be fluffy, like a towel or a blanket, where you don't want your stitches to sink into the fabric from the front, where you're not going to notice them as much.
Okay.
So
is that something that you would recommend using for like patching is really trending right now with patches, embroidering those, you know, the fluffy material? Would you use the same material to do the fluffy patching?
Yeah. So if any garment or item that you're stitching that is that fluffy, like those sweatshirts or Sherpas that are real fluffy,
right?
Definitely use water-soluble topper for those.
Perfect.
And for this, you can use pins, but I just use some tape. And you can use masking tape, or like the medical paper tape is also great as well.
Yeah.
And so now we have our item prepped and ready. And so now we can go over to the machine. All right, so the machine I'm using is a Brother PE 800. It's a great beginner machine. And your hoop has these little brackets here, and you're going to hook those on the brackets here on the embroidery arm. So I'm just going to slide the towel underneath the presser foot, and I am going to make sure the hoop is securely on those brackets, and I kind of lift it up here to make sure it's not going to pop off, and it's on there well. Then with my machine, what I do is you download the design off of Creative Fabrica. It's going to go to your downloads folder. You're going to unzip it, and on my computer, I just double click it. Then I save the file depending on the embroidery machine you're using, which format. So for instance, Brother and Baby Lock machines like PES format. So I'm going to take that PES design, and I'm going to save it to a USB stick, which I have plugged in here. And then there's a button on the machine. You press the USB stick, you scroll through, you find the design you just saved, and then it uploads to the machine. And now it's ready for stitching.
Perfect.
So I have the design. The design I used from Creative Fabrica today is the dancing skeletons. And then I just added the wording Happy Halloween underneath it. And you can do that by either using the fonts that are already on your machine, or if you have embroidery software, you can add lettering to any design.
Oh, perfect. So this design is free for you guys for watching the live, and we will provide that link in the comments. And then Karlie, are you going to begin stitching this so we might can see at the end of the live?
Yes, ma'am.
Yay, I'm so excited for that.
All right, so I have it all ready to go. Let's see, I hit embroidery. The first step is the skeletons, which I'm doing in white thread. So I already have my white thread loaded on here. So you just lower the presser foot and go. And that's it.
Oh, and then it just starts going right over. So it is going to embroider over your topper, but that topper will just be able to tear away. Perfect. Okay, yeah, I think Karlie might
Sorry,
be
I paused it. I muted myself because I was like, I can't even hear what you're saying anymore now.
Perfect. So that is going to be running in the background as we move on to our next project in just a few minutes. But if you guys have any questions for Karlie, including embroidery, what she is using, please let us know now. So here is one. Wouldn't you use water soluble just for a t-shirt, or would you use the water soluble for a t-shirt?
It depends on the type of design. So I am a fan of using water soluble topper on t-shirts when it is a satin stitch design. And a satin column is just, it goes back and forth, really tight, and sometimes they're wide. And when you have the water soluble topper, it allows the edges of those columns to look really crisp and nice. However, when I'm doing a bean stitch, a sketch stitch, those I find the water soluble topper is not necessary.
Okay, so not always needed, but just in certain cases.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So are there any quick go-to, if you had just 2 tips for beginner embroidery users, what would they be?
Take your time and don't freak out. Because I came from having no sewing background whatsoever. So start with a super easy project like a towel that even just has one color, even, just put a monogram on it and go from there. And then you're going to learn, the more you play with it, the better you get at it.
Yeah. I think too, using just scrap pieces of material that you can just, not have to worry about it being perfect, just an old t-shirt or one that you can even cut up and do smaller designs to practice with. But I love that you are able to use those designs from Creative Fabrica and transfer those onto your machine. And you just do that by USB port, correct?
Yeah.
You just download those, put those on your USB port, plug that into your machine. And she has the Brother PE 800. 800. I have a Brother PE 770. It's a dinosaur, but it still works just as good, and it is wonderful. So Miss Karlie uses the Brother PE 800. I know that you can buy these online, different places. Probably, I would even think Amazon would carry.
Yeah.
The
Amazon carries all of those smaller, I like the PE 800, and those are like, I call a 5x7 machine. And then they have a smaller machine that the biggest size you can embroider is 4 inches by 4 inches. So those 2 kinds of machines they do sell on Amazon.
Awesome. All right. Well, Miss Karlie, thank you so much for showing us that. Miss Karlie is going to let her project run in the background, and we hope that we can see some spooky skeletons by the time that this live is over. Just a reminder, be sure that you stay tuned towards the end of the video for our giveaway. And I am going to get started with my project now. Karlie, thank you so much for showing us all of that and all of those great tips. Again, if you have any questions for Karlie, be sure to drop them in the comments wherever you are watching, and we will be sure to get those answered. So thank you so much. All right. So, you guys, it is football season, full swing here in Alabama. And I don't know where you are, but football for us means like the actual throwing football. I know we have some people that are international here that say football is soccer, but we're going to be working with the football SVG. Well, it's actually a sports SVG bundle. And let me take you over there and show you my stream here. Over here, it is the, well, scroll down, sorry. It is the Mega SVG Design Bundle with over 460 designs. You are going to get these for free for watching. And the design that I am going to be using is in the Mega Bundle Set 8. There are so many designs in this bundle that they are broken down, but the design that I'm going to be using is in design 8. And then let me minimize this, take you off of there, and then I'm going to take you into Cricut Design Space where I have already uploaded, and I'm going to show you the design that we're going to be working with today. So this is tailgates, tackles, and touchdowns. This will be the design that I'm going to be putting on my epoxy tumbler. And I just use the SVG version of this. I size this to 4 inches high, and I'm using this on a 20-ounce tumbler. And like I said before, everything that you guys need for this project will be in the description. So I'm going to add this, get my turner going. My tumbler turner comes from Dino's Tumbler Turners. They are absolutely amazing. I'm going to go ahead and get my gloves on to start working with my epoxy. If you guys have questions at any time, please let me know because I'm happy to answer. Before I get started, please let me know, what is your experience with epoxy tumblers? Have you started epoxy tumblers? Do you love them, or is it a new project for you? Please let me know. So I have my tumblers going. This is going to be our final design. I'm just going to put this off to the side here because I don't, whoa, I'm just going to leave the football on. I don't want to get any extra glitter on there. So I'm going to put that up top. And this football just holds my tumbler in place perfectly. So I've got this off to the side because I'm going to start mixing my epoxy. Now, my epoxy comes from Counterculture. You're going to be getting 2 parts to your epoxy. There's a part A and a part B, and it is super, super easy to use. And you're just going to have to forgive. Sometimes my camera is like on a self timer so the battery doesn't go dead. It's being really rude. It doesn't know that I need it right now. So I went ahead and mixed this up. With epoxy, the biggest part is you just want to make sure that you have the exact amount of part A and the exact amount of part B. I have those here in my cups, and I'm just going to mix those together right now. Using a popsicle stick, making sure you guys can see. Oh, thank you so much. You guys, your compliments mean the world to me because this is what I do it for. I want to show everybody my process, and I want to inspire as many people as I can because crafting has truly been a therapeutic outlet for me and for so many others that I come in contact with. So I'm just mixing my part A and part B, getting every little bit in there. And now mixing together. So you'll see when you start to mix these together, it may be a little bit cloudy. And then you know that it is mixing together well when it starts to become clear again. So I can already tell it is going to be a good mix. It's starting to clear up. Always make sure when you are using epoxy that you're just using epoxy in a well-ventilated area, and you use gloves. You don't want to get this on your skin or your clothes because it is permanent. So now that this is mixed together, I'm ready to apply to my cup. Move my tumbler back into focus here. Okay, I'm going to lay down just a few sheets of copy paper here, and that's just to catch all of my extra glitter. For this project, I'm going to be using, I'll show you right here. I'm going to be using toasted chestnut, and this comes from Counterculture, which is the same place that I get the epoxy. They have shakers, which are wonderful, but I'm just going to pour it into one of these cups to get my full coverage. Okay, so toasted chestnut, here we come. Okay, so we have our epoxy, and it is time to apply. I'm just going to apply that directly onto my base here. My cups come from Steel Magnolia, and I'll be sure that you guys get a link to them as well. And these come pre-prepped, which means it's not the stainless steel tumblers that you see. This one has actually already been sanded and prepped white by the company, which makes a huge difference in your prep time, and it really makes an amazing experience. So just adding that epoxy on, just small thin layers. You don't have to do too much at once. And then what's fun about epoxy is that whatever you have left, you can pour this into a silicone mold, and you're not wasting any epoxy at all. So getting that good coverage on there. You just want to make sure, oh, sorry, I'm using you. The biggest part and the most important part is to just make sure that you do get even coverage so that it grabs all of that glitter. Okay, so this epoxy can go into a mold, but we are ready to take my gloves off, start applying this glitter. I use a torch for this project, and don't be intimidated by this. This topper comes from Counterculture, and then you're just going to be using some camping gas, some propane, and that really pops all of your bubbles. Just a quick pop to get a smooth coat in case you got any bubbles while you were mixing or applying, and that just gives you for a smoother coat. Have you guys been loving these Creative Fabrica lives? They have been amazing. They have been so much fun. I know, a torch. That's how I felt too. I was like, I get to use a torch and use something dangerous, but it's really not dangerous. It just felt a little dangerous. All right, so I have my toast. Look at that. Can we just take a moment to appreciate this toasted chestnut? Oh, toasted chestnut, you are beautiful. So I am going to start to apply, and you really cannot mess this part up when you are doing a full coat of epoxy. I just start at the top. I want to make sure that I get at the top a good even coverage, but you can start anywhere because we're just using this one color. I'm using the copy paper because you can see how much falls off of the side. It's just going to stick to the epoxy. Look how beautiful that is. And then the rest of the glitter is just going to fall right off and then you get to save this. So a little bit of glitter goes a long way. I also highly recommend getting a good glitter. This is polyester glitter that Counterculture sells. I even recommend this over any craft store because craft store glitter does not give you near the coverage. It's a polyester glitter. And it gives you so much more sparkle, so much more shine, and a ton of coverage, and you get way more bang for your buck. So I know you can't see, but just on the bottom, all you have to do is sprinkle it, and that's going to cover your bottom. Have you guys played with glitter? Do you love glitter as much as I do? Because I am simply obsessed. And that is beautiful. Look how beautiful it is, Dawn. It is so much fun to use glitter with these projects. Now, if you wanted to make sure that you got all of your coverage spots, you can go through. I can see a couple of spots that I missed. Go through with a quick double coat. And now this one is ready. So with epoxy, you do have cure time. We're going to let this cure for, it's going to be about, whoop, I got glitter everywhere, for about 4 hours, and then it's ready for another coat of epoxy, and then that's where we're going to be at on our next step. So pretend like there was one little spot, and I am a perfectionist. Pretend like we already have, no, that's rude. Pretend like we already have this dried. We have another coat of epoxy, and now we're ready to move on to our next step. You can absolutely use the falling glitter, and that's why I'm putting it back into the cup. You can put this into a glitter shaker or back into the bag, and that's one reason why your glitter is going to go such a long way. But you can reuse all of that. I try not to waste any glitter if I can, if at all possible. Okay. So we have our beautiful toasted chestnut here. And then once it is dried with a coat of epoxy, you can see how pretty and flawless that is. It turned out beautiful. So our next step would be apply our decal from Creative Fabrica, which is what we're going to do now. I have my turner turned off, and I went ahead and I'm going to stand up here. I went ahead and weeded this morning, got it ready to go, and now I'm just going to lay it onto the cup because it is dry. Weed that down. I'm going to use my little scraper to get all those little pieces stuck down onto that. If you do have bubbles up under your decals, your epoxy can get up underneath it and create a bubble. So we just want to make sure that we have it completely smoothed down. And now we're ready to remove that transfer tape. And like I said, this is a 20-ounce tumbler from Steel Magnolia. I'll make sure that you guys get that link. Lay down. Thank you. You guys talk to your crafts as you're crafting, because I do. Okay, we got that on there. And just smoothing out any little bubbles that the vinyl may have left behind. I am covered in glitter and I love it. I'm so sparkly. Okay, so it is so much fun. So what I would do from this point is apply another coat of epoxy onto this cup because I do want this to stay. And then that is going to seal that on there. But here is our finished projects. One question, can you put the epoxy or can you put the tumbler in the dishwasher? No, all of your cups are going to be hand washed, and that is because they have a double wall insulation, and that's recommended for any. So any cup that you buy from the store that has that. Hi, Mama. Can everybody say hello to my mother? Hi, Mom. I love you too. Any cup that you are buying that is double insulated does need to be hand washed because dishwasher can um, the dishwasher can break that seal. I got distracted. Which is easily done. So, do you guys have any questions for me? I would love to answer them. So, this one looks a little rough, and that's because we just applied that epoxy and glitter on there. I want to make sure that I put that off to the side. Epoxy is self-leveling, so you do want to make sure that your cup is level on your turner, so that you get a good even coat. And then, like I said, after this one dries, you are going to let it cure for 4 hours, put another coat of epoxy on there. Great question. Do you need to sand the glitter? This glitter, it will need sanded because it is, I don't know if you can tell. Let me see. It is an irregular shape. It's not a perfectly shaped glitter. It's a little bit more of a shard shape. And then you have the glitters that are perfectly round, and those don't really necessarily need sanding. So just use your discretion and what works best for you. But this one did need sanded. Always spectacular to watch. Thank you so much. These are so much fun to make, and they may seem intimidating, but I promise you they are so much fun. They are so addicting to make. What brand of epoxy are you using? I am using Counterculture DIY, and we will have all of our product lists for you guys. It says that the links are not working, and we'll make sure that we do. So, since you are using a polyester glitter, if you were to use white glitter, could you sublimate over it, or would the epoxy make this impossible? So the epoxy would make it impossible to sublimate over, because that heat would start to melt that epoxy. So for our giveaway, we are giving away a sublimation tumbler, which is honestly, it takes so many steps out of this, and it just gives the tumblers a different look, a more you can put more vibrant patterns, and there's pros and cons to both. But if you guys would love to see a more detailed epoxy, a slowed down version, where I go step by step, go more into the epoxy process, let us know in the comments so that we can get that going. All right, you guys. So, Karlie, how is your embroidery going? We got you muted.
Sorry. Okay, I'm actually on the last step, but I can show you how we're looking. Let's see how well you can see.
Oh my goodness, how cute.
So they're little dancing skeletons.
How
and
cute.
My camera does the same thing yours does.
I know.
But I can go ahead and stop here and show you the cleanup process.
Yeah, we would love to see that. We've got just a few minutes, and we would love to see that.
Okay, great. Let me switch you over. So you see there's a lot going on here because my machine does not cut what I call jump stitches. So like take, for instance, the little green bats. When it's done stitching this one, it jumps over here and stitches and jumps. So with any machine that doesn't cut these for you, you need to go in and cut them. And that's where the little tweezers and my tweezer-like scissors come in real handy, because you can get all of these off fairly quickly.
Yeah. Oh, that is quick.
Yeah. So it just depends on, because like all embroidery machines, the way they're kind of set up as programming goes, if one thing next to it is the same, if you're telling it to do the same color thread, it is going to jump straight to it. Like the machine won't stop. So in order to make your machine stop in between steps, you need to either use embroidery software and tell it it's a different color, or when you download the design from, you know, the site like Creative Fabrica, it's already built in where it tells your machine to stop in between those colors. And the same is for applique, like I was mentioning earlier. My favorite is applique. There are 3 steps to applique, even though it's like, say we were doing a pumpkin, it would stitch the shape of the pumpkin and it would stop. And then you lay your fabric over the area that you want it to be, over the pumpkin. Right. And then it stitches it again, and that tacks down your fabric, and then you trim it with some scissors like these. And then it stitches it again, and that is your final step. And that one's usually like a pretty satin stitch or something like that. Yeah. So once you cut all those jump stitches, you can pull off this water-soluble topper.
This is the part I've been waiting for. I'm so excited.
It just rips right off.
Oh, yes, that's nice.
So there is some remnants left in here, and you can either go in and get that with some tweezers and pull it out. But because it is water soluble, you can literally just dunk the towel in water and this will go away.
Ah, can we get a close up?
Yeah.
Oh, how cute. Oh, yes. How cute is that? I love the little pumpkin details with the little pop of orange.
Yes. And then because the stabilizer we used is tear away, it's kind of the same process. You can just tear it away like you did the water soluble topper.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like this on the back. And some people are very particular about how the back of their embroidery looks. Right. I, for one, do not care because it is the back and nobody's looking at this
Nobody's going to see it. Yeah.
If this bothers you, though, they do make water soluble stabilizer that's woven like this. And it's a tear away, but it is water soluble. So when you put this in the water, all of this would go away as well.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so you show yours and I'm going to show mine. Okay.
All right.
How cute. Oh,
this is what it looks like when you're done after you've dunked it in water and you've gotten all that water soluble topper off of there. And so now you have this cute kitchen Halloween towel.
I love both of these are the perfect fall crafts, you guys, because it is Halloween season, it is football season, and Creative Fabrica has everything that you need. You've got to go grab those SVG bundles today. You've got to get them because they are free for you to use. Everything is included. They are ready to be downloaded. And be sure to tag us. Be sure to tag at Karlie. Your name is at Karlie Belle.
Yeah.
Okay, at Karlie Belle, and mine is Holli Mostella. And of course, Creative Fabrica, if you use any of their designs, they love to see and share with the community. So with all of that being said, who is ready for the giveaway? I am. I hope it's me. I selfishly hope that I won.
When I was
Yay! Okay, so to enter this giveaway, go right now. Hashtag where you are watching, hashtag CF. That is going to be your ticket into the giveaway to win a 30-ounce tumbler press. Go ahead and do that hashtag CF. Get those in as much as possible so that we can get everybody entered into the giveaway. I did do my own CF, and you guys, if I win, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'll pass.
I want one. Can I enter the giveaway?
I know. They're so nice. So we have an image of what they're going to be winning. It is a 30-ounce tumbler press that you can use for sublimation designs. Here it is right there. And that is so cute. I've been looking at these for a while. And since you do sublimation, Karlie, I bet you would love one of these too.
I really would. I've been looking at them for a while. They go in my Amazon cart. They come out of the Amazon
I
cart.
know.
Maybe Santa Claus will bring me one.
I know, but I want one before Santa Claus comes. Like maybe I can get one for
That can
October.
justify all of the Christmas presents that I can make.
Yeah, there
giving away
you
tumblers
go.
for Christmas.
There you go. That is perfect. So, you guys, we're going to give you just a few more minutes because these comments are coming in so fast. The way we do this giveaway is completely random draw. Everyone that is giving the hashtag CF is automatically entered into the giveaway, and then in just a few minutes, it is going to generate that giveaway winner. So, be sure if you love crafting with me and you loved crafting with Karlie, we're both have fan memberships at fans.creativefabrica.com where you could join either one of us. Karlie does amazing things. Can you show us really quickly what your monthly project is?
Yes. So with my fans membership, we do a live Zoom class once a month, and I give away a free design once a month. And the freebie for September is this adorable little embroidered treat bag, and it's a candy corn.
Oh,
it says trick or treat, and it's all made what we call in the hoop. So
yeah.
you don't need a sewing machine. You don't have to sew anything. The whole thing is made in the embroidery hoop.
Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. And if you would like to join mine, I have almost 2,000 hand lettered SVGs where we also have a ton of discount codes for crafting and sublimation files and sticker files and all kinds of fun stuff. So be sure to check us out. Thank you so much to Creative Fabrica for having Karlie and I on to craft with you. And now it is time to draw our giveaway winner. Can we get a drum roll, please? Here we go. So our I saw my name. Our giveaway winner is Kathleen Garman. You are the winner. Please email hi@creativefabrica.com to let them know that you won. Thank you everyone for participating. Thank you to everyone for watching us. Karlie and I have had so much fun sharing our talents with you. If you have any questions at all, please let us know in the comments wherever you have been watching from. We love you so much, and thank you to Creative Fabrica again for providing these amazing files for free to our community. Karlie, would you like to say anything?
No, just thank you so much for having me on the show today. It was so much fun. I now need to go buy all things epoxy and glitter. I can't wait to make a tumbler.
Same. I'm breaking out my embroidery machine. So thank you guys so much again. I cannot wait to craft with you live. Again, if you have any ideas on what you would like to see as we craft live, drop those in the comments too. And we would love to hear from you. So thank you guys so much. And we will see you next time.
All right. Bye, everybody.